Hi, good afternoon, all of you, and welcome back to the online class of microprocessors and microcontrollers. Hope the voice and shade screen is clear to you. So there was a little bit problem till now, so that is why we are late today, right? So if there is any problem further, so please inform me in the chat box as I have muted all of you, right? So let us not waste any time here. We'll start the session today. So in this session or in this class, we will discuss about a special type of controller called DMA. Okay, DMA. So what do you mean by DMA? So direct memory access. Okay, DMA stands for what? Direct memory access. So why do we have to discuss regarding this DMA? What is the importance of this DMA controller? Okay, so like any other controller that we discussed till now, like any other controllers that we have interfaced to the what you can say 8086 microprocessor, this is one special type of controller, because all the other controllers that we interface to the 8086 microprocessor will be working in parallel or in coordination with the 8086 microprocessor. That means what? You have to receive a signal from the 8086, okay, and you have to communicate with the 8086 with whatever device we have interface, okay. But this particular DMA controller, which we are going to discuss, is an advanced controller. And unlike other controllers, it actually operates in parallel to the microprocessor. That means microprocessor can perform its own task and DMA will perform its own task. That means these two controllers will operate independently. Okay, microprocessor will be operating independently and DMA controller will be also operating independently. But whatever the other interfacing devices that we discussed, like interrupt controllers and input output port interfacing device, peripheral interfacing device, and memory, all these, they work in coordination with the microprocessor. That means they are dependent on the microprocessor. That means they have to send data to the microprocessor and they will be receiving data from the microprocessor. That is the operation they actually take place. But here DMA will have its own operation independent of the 8086 microprocessor. That is the speciality here. That is the difference from other controllers here. That is why this is treated as advanced interfacing device. Okay. So this is one of the advanced peripheral device which we are going to discuss. Okay. So let us have an introduction regarding this. What is this DMA? First, let us understand what is this DMA. Why should we do this direct memory access? Okay, let us try to understand this first. Okay, so see this first para. So whatever the task that a microprocessor performs, okay, just listen to me very carefully. This is what forms the base for this DMA controller. Okay, just listen to me very carefully. See, whatever the operation that a CPU or microcontroller performs, it involves huge amount of data transfer. Okay, it involves huge amount of data transfer from one device to other device, from processor to the input devices or some output devices. Okay, so there will be a lot of transfer of data. For transferring this data, the address bus, data bus, and control bus of the microprocessor will be working continuously. Okay, sometimes data has to be taken from memory. Sometimes data has to be taken from the input devices. Sometimes the data has to be sent to the memory. Sometimes the data has to be sent to the output devices. So in this manner, a lot of amount of data will be transferred in the CPU operations. Okay, so this transfer of data has to be performed by the CPU only. The operation has to be performed by the CPU only. So what happens here is, if the data transfer is handled by some other what you can say device, if this transfer of data from input device to the CPU, or from CPU to the output device, from memory to the CPU, or from CPU to the memory. So this data transfer is there now. If this data transfer task is performed by any other device, then the CPU will get extra time to perform more operations. Okay, hope you are understanding the point. That means the CPU or the microcontroller is wasting so much of time. Okay, is wasting so much of time in the data transfer process. Okay, and it is having very less amount of time. For performing more operations. That is why if this data transfer process is handled by some other thing, then CPU will get more time to perform more operations. Okay, that is why we need this DMA. Controller. Let us understand this in more detail. See here. So in the applications where CPU is to transfer bulk data, it may be a waste of time to transfer the data from source to destination using program controlled data transfer or interrupt driven data transfer. Okay, you know, when actually data has to be transferred from input device to CPU, a lot of process involved. First, what happens? The input device has to send interrupt request. Then that particular interrupt request has to be processed and acknowledged by the microprocessor. Then only the data transfer starts from input device to the CPU. Okay, so this is what the process that has to be undergone. And in this entire process, the CPU has to involve. And this causes waste of time. Now, what is the alternative way? Okay, yes, this is the problem now. Okay, so this is causing waste of time. Now, what is the solution? What is the alternative way in which we can save time? The alternative way of transferring the bulk data is direct memory access technique. Okay, what is the alternative way? It is direct memory access technique. What is that? In which the data is transferred under the control of a DMA controller. Okay, so this transfer of data which is involving the CPU and which is causing waste of time of the CPU will be reduced by using the DMA technique. And that particular DMA technique uses what? A DMA controller which transfers or which handles the transfer of data between the devices. That means what? It actually eliminates what all the process that we discussed now. Okay, having an interrupt request, processing that, getting interrupt acknowledgement, and then sending the data. This is all process involved now. This entire process will be cut out now. Okay, this entire process will be cut out, and we can directly send the data from CPU, or we can directly send the data to the input output devices or to the memory by using this DMA controller. Okay, right? So, and this DMA controller just needs an initialization by the CPU. Okay, unlike the other controllers where CPU has to involve in the operation, this DMA controller just needs initialization. Okay, it just needs a triggering pulse. Okay, it just needs initialization. Once we initialize the DMA controller, it takes care of all the data transfer activities between the processor and other input output devices or memory. Okay, so that is what about DMA controller. Okay, so one such application, right? So for example, one such application which involves bulk data transfer is storage of programs or data into the secondary memory. Okay, at the end we have, okay, so that's it, right? So I'll give you a practical example in order to understand this, right? See, we all might have laptops, we all might have what you can say mobile phones. So we'll connect an external device. We'll connect an external device like what you can say pen drive or memory card, okay, to the processor, and we need to transfer some data from the mobile phone or the laptop to the external device like pen drive or hard disk or a memory card. Okay, then what happens is CPU has to involve. Okay, suppose we need to transfer some 2 GB memory movie. Okay, we need to transfer a movie of size 2 GB memory. Okay, if that is the case and CPU has to involve in the data transfer, if that 2 GB transfer takes some half an hour time, okay, if that 2 GB data transfer from processor to the memory card takes some half an hour time, and if CPU or the processor has to involve in that, then the CPU cannot perform any other operation. It has to do that data transfer operation only. This half an hour time will be wasted in the data transfer operation only. Okay, so it cannot perform any other operation. Okay, so if this data transfer operation is performed by some other device like DMA controller, then CPU will be free. Okay, then the processor or the CPU will be free from this data transfer activity, and it can perform the some other important activity. Okay, hope the point is clear, right? So that is what we can see. So even if you are sharing data to the memory card, or even if you are transferring data to the pen drive from your laptop or computer, we can perform the browsing operations, we can perform watching movies, we can perform gaming operations. So all these operations can be performed only because we are having a controller called DMA controller, because this DMA controller is taking care of that transfer of data, and this CPU, okay, the CPU is free from the data transfer operation, and that is why we are able to browse, we are able to game, we are able to watch movies, or we are able to do anything that requires the processor operation. Okay, hope this entire concept is clear to you. Okay, so that device which performs the direct data transfer is nothing but DMA controller, and it is identified with the chip number called 8257. 8257. You have to remember these things. You have to remember the numbers. Okay, you have to remember the chip numbers of the interfacing devices, because you may be asked with just chip numbers 8257, 8259, 8255, 827, okay, 8279. Okay, so just explain the command word of 8255. Okay, you just ask like this in your examination. So that is why you have to remember these numbers also, the chip numbers also, the model numbers. These are very important. Okay. So in this class, I will further introduce you something about DMA controller. Okay, so we'll discuss the architecture in the next class. For the time being, I just introduce you the DMA controller to you. Okay, so till now we discussed about the DMA process. Okay, why do we require this DMA controller, and how we understood about the DMA process. Now I just introduce you what is this DMA controller and what actually this contains. Okay, how this is operated, I'll discuss now, right? So this direct memory access or DMA mode of data transfer is the fastest amongst all the modes of data transfer. Okay, so this saves time, and this is the fastest way of transferring the data from the processor or from one device to another device using microprocessor. Okay, so in this mode, a device may transfer data directly to or from the memory without any interference from the CPU. That is what the important point here. Okay, we will not have any interference of the CPU, and we can transfer the data into the memory from any device, or from memory to any device. Okay, so that means to and fro from memory can be done without the interference of the CPU. That is the most important point. That is why we are able to have the fastest data transfer among any other modes here. Okay, so how this process actually starts? Okay, how this process actually starts? We are talking about this, and we are saying that CPU will not interfere. CPU will not interfere. Directly we can transfer data. Okay, we are talking about this from a longer time. But the question is how it will be done without the interference of the CPU. That is the question. Okay, how it will be done without the interference of the CPU. That is the question here to be answered. Now, let us understand that now. So what happens? The device requests the CPU. The device requests the CPU to hold its data, address, and control bus so that the device may transfer data directly to or from the memory. Okay, so the DMA data transfer is initiated only after receiving the HLDA. HLDA means what? Hold acknowledgement signal from the CPU. For facilitating DMA type of data transfer between several devices, a DMA control may be used. Okay, so I'll explain this clearly, very clearly. Just be patient, right? Just be patient. I'll explain this with a diagram to you, right? Suppose that we have this 8086 microprocessor. Okay, 8086. So this 8086 microprocessor will have its own address bus, data bus, and control bus. Okay, so let this be address bus, and let this be current bus, sorry, control bus, and let this be data bus. Okay, so as we discussed in our static classes, 8086 microprocessor will have its own address bus, data bus, and control bus, right? Now we have a device. Whatever may be the device. Okay, input device or output device. Okay, we have a device from where we have to transfer data into the memory. We have a device. Okay, this is our device, let us say. And we have to transfer data. We have to transfer some data from this device into the processor memory. So generally what happens? We have to place this address of the device into the address bus, and then the microprocessor has to accept that, and then we know this process. Okay, this is a process, long process takes place. Now in DMA controller, when we are using DMA controller, what happens means we'll have a DMA controller in between these two. We'll have a DMA controller in between these two. So what does this DMA controller does? actually this device sends a request. Okay, this device sends a request to the DMA controller that I have some data to transfer to the processor. I have some data to transfer into the processor memory. Okay, so that device sends the request to the DMA. Then what does this DMA controller say? This DMA controller asks this processor, this DMA controller asks this processor to hand over these buses to me. Okay, the address bus, control bus, and data bus of the microprocessor will be handed over to the DMA controller. That means the microprocessor will not have any authority on these buses. Only DMA will have authority on these buses. Okay, hope you are understanding the point. This is a very important point here. See, whenever we want to transfer data from a device into the memory of 8086 microprocessor, then that particular device sends the request that I have some data to transfer to the memory of microprocessor to the DMA controller. Okay, then what does this DMA controller do? This DMA controller asks the processor to hand over the bus system, to hand over the address bus, data bus, and control bus to it. Okay, so that it can make data transfer directly to the memory without the involvement of microprocessor. And meanwhile, this microprocessor can perform the operations that are required, any other operations. Hope the point is clear. Now. So this is happened when we receive HLDA signal from the CPU. That means what? The CPU actually holds all these address bus, data bus, and control bus, and it hands over to the DMA controller. Hope the point is clear now. Okay, so the bus system is generally handed over to the DMA controller, which is the main part of data transfer. Okay, the bus system is the main part of the data transfer, right? So that bus system of processor will be handed to the DMA controller, and that actually processes the data transfer. Okay, hope the point is clear now. So this is what actually happens, right? So the architecture and the different operating modes of this particular DMA controller will be discussed in the next class. Okay, so in today's class we discussed what is the need for DMA, and what is this DMA operation, and how actually DMA operation is performed. Okay, so hope the points are clear to you. Okay, so if any point is not clear to you, just you can ask me now. I'll repeat the thing. All the points discussed are clear to you, right? So hoping that everything is clear, I'll end the session now. If you have any doubt, you can go to the YouTube videos. Thank you for joining.